A funny thing happened the other day when I went to a watch repair shop. You know, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the idea of homage watches. And by the way, welcome back to the humble horologist. That's me, Anthony. There's a lot of discussion, to say the least, over whether or not homage watches are even ethical. But when it gets to the point where an homage, a watch that is made to pay tribute to, in an ever so generous way, the watch that it looks like, there comes a point when, is it too far? Is it just a one for one copy? If you're buying a watch that is literally a copy, even down to the name, that's a fake. Don't buy fake watches. It's a lie. Why would you want to lie to people and at the same time rob from the actual business that makes the watch, the company? But what about the watches that are not one for one? What about the watches that are truly homage watches? I personally do not have a problem with them, especially if you just don't have the money to buy the real thing. So, what's the funny story? I went into a watch repair shop and I got to talking to a guy that worked there. He was a third generation horologist. I just stay humble. He and I began to talk and we started talking about different watches. And then I pulled out an app that I had and it shows all my watches in that app on my phone. I got down to one and it was a Pagani Design brand watch. And he said, "Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that one before." Really? That sort of struck me as strange, but this is a guy that is just in his shop working all the time, and he doesn't surf the internet like a lot of us do. And so I showed him my watch that I'm wearing today, which is the 17 PD-1701 version 3 from Pagani Design, which is their version of the Omega Speedmaster. Well, when I brought it up to show him, I said, "Would you like to take a look at mine?" And he said, "Oh, I thought you were wearing an Omega." Now, some people, when I posted this on Facebook, they said, "Well, he's not a real watch guy if he didn't know that was a fake right off the bat." I'm like, "Now, wait a minute." When I handed this to him, he was amazed. He thought that was a very nice looking watch. He said, "Sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, stainless steel." He looking at all the different things about it. He said, "That is a nice watch." I said, "If I were to ask you how much you would pay for this or expect this watch to cost, what would you think?" And he said, "Oh, it'd have to be about $400 or $500." That's not how much they cost. But that goes to show you how much you get from one of these types of watches. Do I like sending my money to China? Not necessarily. But the people that make these watches are just people. And so, while we can, as we have the opportunity, as long as it's ethical and as long as it's legal, enjoy the watches. So now let's take a look at this PD-1701 version 3 a little closer. All right, so here it is, the Pagani Design 1701 version 3. Now, what makes the version 3 different from the version 2? Well, it has white hands and white indices. The version 2 had silver. Other than that, everything is the same. It has a sapphire crystal. It has a ceramic bezel. It has pushers here for the chronograph, which, it's a mecha quartz, so it almost looks like an automatic. So starting it, stop it, reset it. It does have a screw down crown, which adds to the water resistance. And says, Japanese movement, which means that it is the Seiko on the inside. And, look at this. It's very well finished. The bracelet is not as nice, obviously. And, you know, you have to cut corners somewhere. It's a little sharp around the edges, but not too bad. It feels good on the wrist. It does have a milled clasp that's nice with safety pushers on the side, and but it only has 2 or 3 micro adjustments. And of course, the loom is okay. It's not going to win any awards, but it is what it is. I have no problem wearing this. And the thing is like if you want to wear and spend thousands of dollars more, and you want to wear a real, honest to goodness Omega Speedmaster, you go right ahead, and you can, spend your hard-earned money on that. And if you don't have a problem with it, that is up to you. But I don't have that much, and a lot of people don't. But you can wear a watch like this, have fun with it, and enjoy it. And when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, is that an Omega you're wearing?" you can say, "No, it is a Pagani Design." And they can say, "What is that?" And then you can tell them, and you can have a conversation. Conversations about watches are great to have because they always lead to deeper conversations about all kinds of things. And that's always fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was informative. Tune in next week. We'll look at another watch and give a little bit of background about it. Maybe tell a little story and have some fun for just a few minutes. I might even introduce you to my dog, George. But until then, remember, watches are replaceable, but time is not.